Happy Friday morning, everybody. I'm Harrison Graham. We're going to react to last night's action. Steelers, Browns. Browns with an upset win, a costly loss for Pittsburgh as they go down to 8-3 on the season. They lose 24-19 on Thursday Night Football. Stick around till the end of the video because we're going to have an updated AFC playoff picture. Just how costly was this loss for the Steelers? And we'll kind of take a look at all of that heading into the football weekend. Before we react to this one and get to the playoff picture, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, bringing you NFL and college football content every single day, full videos, YouTube shorts. Want to do more live shows. Once we get to 5,000 subscribers, we could be able to work in some NFL playoff live stream shows where we're just hanging out watching the playoff games. And one lucky subscriber is going to win a jersey once we cross 5,000 subscribers. So subscribe to the channel, daily content. It's 100% free and a chance to win a jersey. All right, I'm Harrison Graham. Let's get into it as the Steelers fall 24-19. Can I just first say, from an aesthetic standpoint, watching a football game when it's snowing like that is so enjoyable. I mean, clumps of snow coming down pretty much the final three quarters of that game. It was kind of just sprinkling snow at first, then it really started to come down, and that was enjoyable. And I kind of started to think that, I got a little sad, and here's why. Because in 30 years, we may not have snow football, at least in the NFL, because it feels like every city, every team could go to a dome stadium. Now, there might be exceptions. I think Buffalo is actually building a stadium that's not going to have a dome. But the longer time goes on, the less of these we're going to get just because teams build more domes. So that made me a little sad because that was awesome to watch. Shout out to Browns fans for showing up. I mean, they've been terrible this year. And what a win for Cleveland. There's something to be said to lay it all on the line when you don't have a ton to play for. I think it goes to show there's always something to play for. Division rival in town. Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback. He's obviously fighting for his career. Myles Garrett said it after the game, like, I'm the number one defensive player in this league. I'm the top edge rusher. He's going up against TJ Watt. Like, he had something to play for there. So really impressive win for Cleveland. I mean, that's an easy letdown spot to just kind of throw in the towel, and they didn't. And, to rally late too, because they were up 18-6, and then Pittsburgh came back, took a 19-18 lead, and then after Corliss Waitman shanks a punt, gives the Browns a short field, they go down and score in the final couple of minutes and knock a Hail Mary away to win this one 24-19. So shout out to the Browns for showing out. I do want to make most of this about the Steelers because Cleveland's obviously not in the mix to make the playoffs at 3-8. Mike Tomlin, as great as he is, sucks on Thursday Night Football, especially on the road. 2-9, including 0-4 in Cleveland. And look, I get it. Division rival, tricky weather conditions. I'm not saying this is an easy spot. Coming off a physical game against Baltimore, I'm not saying that's a game you should just go in there and show up and you dominate, but that's a pretty tough loss to take considering, now at 8-3, and we'll get to the playoff picture implications, but it's pretty safe to say the 1 seed is out of reach at this point. And now that AFC North is very much wide open with Baltimore as well, who the Steelers play again here in a few weeks. So this is a tough loss for the Steelers. There's no doubt about it. And, I thought Tomlin made some interesting coaching decisions. I don't know if that's fully his call to go to Justin Fields late and have him throw that deep ball. Now, I will say, if you're going to use the Justin Fields package, you have to be willing to throw off of it. Otherwise, teams are just going to tee off against the run. We saw early in the game the Browns stuff to 4th and 2 when he tried to run. We saw later Fields picked up 30 on kind of a QB sweep up the right sideline. So I think there's room for this package. I think he's too good of an athlete to not utilize him, and I do think you need to be willing to throw off of it. But on 3rd and 4, is that really the spot? Because 3rd and 4, if you're the Browns, you don't have to sell out on the run. You can kind of just play base defense just in case if he throws. If it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and Fields comes in, you're selling out. That would be more of a time to mix in the pass, like kind of do the fake run, throw over the top type thing. But he just did a straight drop back and threw a deep ball. Now, I thought he threw a decent ball over the left shoulder to Pickens, who kind of just did not do a good job of tracking it. Seemed like he was more focused on getting a PI call than just catching the football. but I did not really love that call. Didn't even have a play action off of it. It was just a straight drop back. And, they got to figure out when and why to use that Justin Fields package. I assume that's an Arthur Smith decision, but Mike Tomlin's the head coach. He can override that call in that spot. I think on 3rd and 4, I'd just rather keep Russell Wilson in the game, who was cooking in the fourth quarter. He was really, really good. Overall, 21 of 28, 270 and a touchdown. So did not like that decision. This is one of those games, too, just looking at it. How do you lose this game if you're the Steelers? I mean, just if you didn't watch the game, and this is why you can't box score hunt, but if you didn't watch the game and you just looked at the numbers, okay, let's look at it. Steelers ran more plays, 67 to 55. They had more yards, 368 to 304. They had less penalties and less penalty yardage. They had 1 turnover. The Browns had 3 turnovers. They had the ball for 35 minutes. The Browns had the ball for 25 minutes. I mean, you won every category except for the scoreboard. I mean, I think it points to a couple of things. One, they left a lot of points out there in the first half. Russell Wilson takes a bad sack, forces a longer field goal in bad conditions. Boswell misses, so that's 3 points gone on the opening drive. They try the Fields package on 4th and 2. He gets stuffed. That costs you at least 3, potentially 7 points. Waitman, I mentioned earlier, shanks the punt. That costs you potentially winning that game because the Browns have a short field. You got stuffed on 4th and 1 later or in the second half as well with Jaylen Warren. So I think it just comes down to the key downs where Pittsburgh 1 of 3 on 4th down, Browns 4 for 4 on 4th down. Now on 3rd down, the Browns go 1 for 10 and the Steelers go 7 for 16. So I still think Pittsburgh should have won this game. That's a pretty tough one to take if you're the Steelers because, again, you've got a lot on the line here. The Browns don't have a lot on the line. Sure, they're playing for pride. They're trying. I'm not saying they're not trying to win this game. Clearly they were. But that's a pretty tough one to lose if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, more to come, but do want to get a quick word from our sponsor, Turtle Beach. After that, we'll talk a little bit more about this game, why it is so costly for Pittsburgh, and then we'll take a look at the AFC playoff picture. Special thanks to Turtle Beach for sponsoring today's show. If you're looking to upgrade your gaming headset and accessories, look no further than Turtle Beach, where you can get 10% off at turtlebeach.com/chat. Code chat gets you 10% off. Check out their brand new Stealth 700 gaming headset, which picks up audio so crystal clear that it's basically cheating when you game. Santa could crash land right into your living room, and the big fella makes big noises, and you wouldn't even notice. There's no better way also to block out Aunt Carol from asking you about your love life at the Christmas dinner table this year than just using this superhuman hearing technology from Turtle Beach. You'll hear every explosion when you game, every loot box, every footstep, just like they're in your living room. Or if you're like me and like to play sports games, you're going to hear the commentary, the crowd noises, the hard hits on the football field better than ever. You'll feel like you're at the event. And by the way, you'll forget you're even wearing these headsets because they're so comfortable. It's like throwing a Christmas sweater on your ears. So whether you're treating yourself or someone else for the perfect gift this holiday season, it's time to snag the headset everyone is talking about. Check out Turtle Beach today. turtlebeach.com/chat. Code chat gets you 10% off for a limited time only. Thanks so much for checking out Turtle Beach. Link is in the comments and in the description. One more time, turtlebeach.com/chat. Code chat. All right, let's dive deeper into why this was such a costly loss. Pittsburgh falls to 8-3. I mentioned earlier the number 1 seed is very much in peril at this point. You're 2 games back of the Chiefs. You're a game and a half back of the Bills, or you're a game back of the Bills for the 2 seed. And now you're only a half game up or a game up on Baltimore, and you play them again. So if they beat you the second time, it's kind of a, who wins more games down the stretch type of deal. And you look at the Steelers schedule coming up. Sure, long week here. You got 10 days until Cincinnati, but on the road in Cincy a week from Sunday. I know the Bengals are 4-7, but that offense is very good and very capable. Browns at home the week after. They just proved they can beat you. At Philadelphia, at Baltimore, Chiefs at home, Bengals at home. There's no layups on the schedule left. Like, I still think this is going to be a playoff team. I mean, you would have to limp to 10-7. I mean, that'd be 2-4 over the final 6. So I think they're going to be in the playoffs. But if you ask me right now, do I think the Steelers or the Ravens win the AFC North? I'm going to take the Ravens because even though Baltimore historically has struggled against Pittsburgh with Lamar Jackson, their schedule isn't quite as daunting. They play at the Giants still. That's a game they should win. At the Chargers this week's a big one. If they can beat the Chargers Sunday night, Baltimore's going to be in a good position because then they get the Eagles at home. Steelers have them on the road. They go to the Texans, who aren't playing great right now. They finished with the Browns at home, a team they lost to a few weeks ago, so you would think they'd be focused to at least get that split there. I think Pittsburgh losing this game on Thursday night kind of evens up the race in the AFC North, where if they would have won this game, still wouldn't have been easy. You still have a tough slate down the stretch, but it would have been a little more manageable for the Steelers on that front. All right, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture after the Steelers' loss on Thursday Night Football as Pittsburgh looks to bounce back. And obviously, we've got a full slate of games coming up this weekend. Let's dive into it here. Chiefs still in the driver's seat, but obviously with Buffalo beating them last week. If they were to tie, the Bills would have the tiebreaker there, and the Bills are in no danger of falling to the wild card because the AFC East is pretty much wrapped up. So Chiefs at 9-1 hold the tiebreaker there. They are still in the driver's seat. They play the Panthers on the road this week, so a game they should win. Buffalo sitting there at 9-2. The Bills, I believe, are on their bye week. They are, so no game this week. So if the Chiefs were to lose somehow, the Bills would jump in first place. Steelers at 8-3, still in good position for the playoffs, but again, that AFC North going to be tricky with Baltimore lurking now. Texans in the AFC South have a 2-game lead on Indy and really a 3-game lead because they have the head-to-head advantage. They swept Indianapolis. Chargers, who play the Ravens, winner of that game would be have the inside track on the top wild card spot. For now, it's Los Angeles, Baltimore at 6, and then Bo Nix and the Broncos right now have the 7th seed. I would say the Colts and the Dolphins, 2 teams to watch out for potentially making a push there. The Broncos this week play at the Raiders, so I would expect them to win that game. The Colts this week, Detroit at home, tough spot. So if you're Miami trying to leapfrog Indianapolis, the Dolphins this week get the Patriots at home. That's a game they should win. So they'd get to 5-6, and then all of a sudden, big game against the Packers on Thanksgiving for Miami. So it's going to get nip and tuck over the final 6-7 weeks here in the AFC as we come down to it. So going to be very fun to watch. We, of course, will monitor all of that and continue to track the playoff picture for both the AFC and the NFC as we get closer to the stretch run here. My name is Harrison Graham. Be sure to subscribe to 4 Verts on the way out. And we got a video coming out later this afternoon. Jim Harbaugh, the Jim Harbaugh effect is real. We'll talk about that. So stay tuned for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Subscribe to 4 Verts. We'll see you later.